See, son, that's how we do it.
Wow, we really scolded those guys.
Well, that's my job. I'm a scalder.
The Scalder. Okay, it's not an official job title at most medieval castles, but it was a real tactic. When men would try to scale a castle or bring siege weapons or works to a castle's walls, men manning the walls would dump whatever they could on the men below. This was less typically expensive oil, but could be boiling water, or even boiling feces or urine. What was particularly nasty was burning hot sand dumped on an enemy, as this hot sand would work its way into a man's armor and clothing, and couldn't so easily be washed away. Quicklime, produced by heating limestone, was also used. It's a nasty substance that can also cause burns and blindness. Sand and water in buckets and cauldrons were further kept throughout castles not just to burn men, but more importantly put out fires that could be started during a battle or otherwise. Fires were a huge risk even in stone castles. Stone castles still have wood floors, beams, roofs, furniture, tapestries, and hay, and can burn down. This risk of fire was one reason men mounting walls did not frequently use oil over water. Hauling and moving oil around battlements during a siege is a huge risk to men and a castle. And another reason oil was used less than water and sand was that oil during medieval times was, for the most part, rare and expensive. Flammable oil can be sourced from a number of places. Obviously, if a castle is near a tar pit, that's an easy source. But most oil and resins during medieval times came from animal fats, trees, or plants. Such oil was never abundant enough to paint battlefields with and set them ablaze, such as shown in the movies. Castle engineers did come up with some innovative ways to dump oil, water, and other objects on enemies. Castles might have machicolations, an opening between the supporting corbels of a projecting parapet, or the vault of a gate. This opening made it much safer to dump burning liquids, or rocks, on the enemy below. Murder holes were openings in the ceilings of gateways or passageways in fortifications, so if men got through one gate but didn't breach a second, they'd have men rain down hell from above, using these holes. These holes also doubled as a method for men to communicate with each other on different levels. One way men sieging a castle would try to prevent having to siege a gate was by undermining a section of a castle's walls in hopes of collapsing them. This is why moats were important. They helped prevent siege equipment from being brought up to the walls and created a flood risk to mining projects. Oil, of course, was historically used, just not as frequently as shown in the movies. If you are defending a castle and you know you'll be put to death by the invaders, you are likely to throw everything you've got at them, regardless of the expense. There are records of oil being used during the 100 Years' War, at the Siege of Orleans, and during the Great Siege of Malta, for example. When oil was used, it wasn't always used to burn. Oil, slippery and slow to evaporate, along with boulders thrown into the path of attackers and siege equipment, had the potential to greatly slow any such forces.
I'm a scalder. And maybe someday you'll be one too.
Really, Dad?
Sure. You can have your own cauldron, your own bellows, heck, maybe even your own hunchback assistant.
Alright, I'm Johnny. Thanks for watching this hot and slippery video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, all you need to do to support the channel is hit the like button. But most importantly, do have a nice rest of your day.